Do you ever see those comments where people say that they're the first one there to make a comment? Well, I want to be the first one to welcome Gary Davis to the YouTube trading community. Gary has a photograph done in black and white with, I suspect, his wife, unless his hooker is his wife. And let's take a gander at his profile pic. He's an entrepreneur. He's taller than his wife. So far what I can assess here is he has no subscribers. He has no views. He is, in fact, an entrepreneur at this point. He has high hopes, pie in the sky hopes. With him, you will be able to install, trade, profit, dash, learn how. I guess he didn't want to go with the learn how to install, trade, profit syntax because he thought maybe that's just too cheesy. So he thought he'd mix it up a little bit. Iconically, you want to install, you want to trade it, and make some money. Amazingly, I noticed that his sizing is diverse, so I'm already a big fan. He's got a 2K, a 4K, 1K. He bought, I think, this breakout. If I had to grill him and ask him, of course, I think after he didn't even put a buy stop here and get the better fill, or buy stop here and get the better goober trend fill. He wouldn't be buying if he didn't think it's going up. So we know he's a trend trader. He has unfortunately found himself in the seller's scalp zone where, okay, every time we pop up into here, they just keep pulling it back. Just keep pulling it back. And anytime you pop up in this window, just keep pulling it back. Tries to get away, pull it back. Tries to get away, keeps backfilling. That secret backfill. The old secret backfill. The old trend line fake out, breakout. Oh, see, trend lines don't work. Oh, got smashed. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. But he does have diversification in size. His take profit is a good amount of money. He's got another take profit. He's actually scaled out, scaled in. I'm rooting for him and his wife to succeed in the world of entrepreneurness. So he has 12 minutes, 11. So there's this guy that I've been talking to. This guy I'm trying to be friends with at the coffee shop. He's retired, so he's got a lot of time in his hand. He just sits on his Android and just goes nuts through his Android, you know. So I told him a story the other day, and he says, I thought you said they quit, not that they were suspended. And I'm like, okay, what are you writing a book? And I don't know if you've ever been with people like that. So I just, in case you're out there, 11 minutes, 48 seconds, not 12 minutes. I know there's people that will get hung up on that. And being a perfectionist, I understand the problem there. Could you be more precise? Could you explain your method? Well, it's to install. Come on, read it. Install, trade, profit. Pay attention. So, on your mark, get set. Come on, Gary, bring it.
Hi, this is Gary. I'm bringing you or showing you a couple of new...
He is bringing it. Did you hear that? He's bringing it. He's so cute.
New indicators. I like both of them, but actually combining both of them I think gives us a lot of additional information. So I wanted to show you how I use them. One of them is called the AweSome indicator. This one's a 4-color AweSome indicator. There are a lot of AweSome indicators.
Another Bill Williams cheesy ass stupid name for it's a 34 simple moving average differential.
Out there, I'm sure you've probably seen them before. I happen to like this one because of the way it shades the colors and shows you when the trends start changing. You can see the lighter green trends up, darker green. We still have an uptrend, but it's heading back down. So there's kind of some caution there.
I like that caution thing. Hey, caution, trouble up ahead. And I think he's right about this one. Um, hey guys, I know you bought down here on this only divergence that ever even shows up on here. And it's only because it just so happens that the time frame he's on happens to sync with the 34 simple moving average. No exponential on that. I think as Bill Williams realized that the exponential in MACD was a little bit ridiculous, that the simple moving average has more of a clean math to it than the exponentials. You could claim divergence here, but it would be a stretch in a way. But this is, in other words, these do not look like the divergence you would expect. And people say that's not divergence, but it really is, because it's completely losing momentum. But it doesn't look as beautiful as this one, because this is nice and clean. But that's because the velocity of this move is pushing the string, pushing this 34 average string. This is a nice clean divergence here. And it's more than a caution. And what if your trading system was, the only one I can think of that for this would be, you're above zero. Anytime after this color, anytime you get the opposite color, you start buying. You start buying, you start buying. And here you would not take any trades. Here you start buying. So you're really saying, I have a very wide stop, because if I have a stop that's here and I get in here, I made this, and that trade is as good as really any trade on here. Ultimately, we really want to be trading the structure. We don't want to look at this oscillator. It's silly. You could make the argument that this is more oversold than this, and use the RSI reversal entry, because you have this situation with the most oversold since here, and this is higher than this, but this is more oversold than that. So it's the severe inversion move. And you don't really get those kind of signal. I mean, this data, all these moves are based on where it was and what it's trying to fill. Right? Because this void is left, and this becomes a pressing issue later on. Once we come back to here and done this deep dive into what people would assume is going to just keep it can keep tanking, because look at this. It keeps tanking, but this is caused by leaving this backdraft. What makes planes fly is that vacuum above the wing that you create by the curve you put in that wing, the flaps. So listen to Gary give us the lowdown here.
And
Gary Davis.
Each time it kind of shows you the direction, but combine that with a couple of other indicators, and then you can really tell where you're at. So
that's good to know.
Anything in this area of this indicator, you would only want to take buys. Anything in this area, you'd want to take sells, and so forth. Now you could be a little bit.
But you see how that's completely not right, because if you just took sells in here, can you imagine? You got killed here. You only sold here, and you only take buys here. How's that working out, Gary? How's it working out for you?
Risky, and say, hey, I see a downtrend starting here, so even though we're in the up, it might be a good time to try to take some.
Yes, it is.
Some downtrend, and think you would be in that downtrend all the way from here to here. So if we put some lines up here, we can see how the AweSome indicator.
Oh, he's right. Now, I guess he was saying what not to do.
Indicator works. Starting right about there was a good indication we're starting a downtrend. You could have stayed in that trend all the way down, actually to here. But to get in profit, you can see looking at our
See, now that's to here it crosses the zero, but the whole time this is maxing out down here. Notice the abrupt change because of this area here was triggered. Right, that is the, and look at that reaction. And then we're trapped underneath that auction floor. And then here comes the engulf. Sellers come in this one, they kick it back, and they really come in here. Because the bigger that is, the harder the reaction is from that. And the whole time this drama has been going on, this hole's been forming. So it's just a big hole, the whole game. You could put this AweSome indicator up here. You would have to say based on this rule set he just made that this is the best place to get in. You would buy here on the first switch. You buy here, and buy here. Now you're only in 4K. You've dollar cost averages in, and you get the you're locking in the divergence here, because when you pull the trigger here, you have divergence because this is failing to go lower. You also know that you're in this huge trap, and you've loaded the wagon already on limits here, so you've already captured this bounce, let's hope, on something. And you're like, okay, well, my conservative target's going to be here. And obviously that was a lot of people's conservative target. This is the triple bottom. And that never gets, we never see that price again for quite some time. With his rule, you start selling here. As soon as it turns, you sell here. You sell here. Yeah, sure. That'll work. Simple 34 moving average. As soon as it switches color, sell. As soon as it switches color, buy. That's the tightest entry you'll ever get out of here. Here's the only, you get burned on this trade, so which trades you get burned on? With that really simple logic. You get burned here, you get burned here selling, you get burned here selling, and here and here and here. I'm sorry, here and here you start to make money selling. Right, you sell every switch above zero, and you only buy below here every time it AweSome indicator switches. So that would work. You'd have to adjust your stops though, because here you got to get in to hold on to these trades. Your stop would have to be mega. Right? It does no good to take all these signals with really tight stops and just be like, oh fuck, the only one I rode was the last one. Well, if my ratios are good, I'll make up for all these losses. Do you really want to? If that doesn't happen, they kick you out of the last one. See how this gap down and it's such a steep. This could be a daily chart for all I know, but and then it finally takes off without you and drifts up this really lazy stairway to heaven where its top become bottoms all the way up. I don't know. I guess it's up to you. If you're an entrepreneur, I guess you're going to do it.
Indicator that we were starting to head back up, so that might be an area in here that you'd get out. So if you can see here, we could start get into an uptrend. You're getting in. You don't get out until all the way down to here. So you're into this trend from, what is it, from here to here, something like that.
But you got to be getting out of every trade on the way up, because every time you see a sell, even though you're long, you'd have to take something off the table here when it switches, here when it switches, here and here. So you're unloading. You would be flat. You wouldn't be holding that and then say, oh, I'm going to sell here when it crosses zero. It's too late by then. Now you're down here. You missed your exit. Here you buy, you buy, you buy, you buy. does your buys. As soon as it switches to the up color, that's how you trade the AweSome. As far as I'm concerned, that's the only trade plan for the AweSome oscillator. I think he's calling it the AweSome indicator, but it's Bill Williams. 34, I'm pretty sure. 34 simple moving average.
And when it crosses. Now, one thing I always like to do is I always like to add trend lines. They're real simple. They're not really indicators, but they are indicators to me because if you look at some of these trend lines, you can see some major, some major points here. We've got hits a trend. We're going back here. We've got some resistance. We've got some resistance. That's a super trend line right there.
Super duper, buddy.
But you can get into these trends and see we're going to go green. Well, let's make sure we get some profit. That means we're going up. We still see here we're still green. So that's a good time to stay in.
Still green, baby. It's a good time to stay in.
And that becomes a trend line when you keep seeing where it's dropping down to. So then when it crossed here, you can see that is back here where we're turning dark green.
Is everybody following Gary? Because Gary speaks so. I think Gary's the one you want to turn to. If my sentences appear incomplete, I think you just need to tune into Gary's channel and support him because he's an entrepreneur. Let's not forget this.
Back down. So that would have been a nice long profit here based on this. Now if we look down here at that, it's LMSA trend. This is basically a moving average trend guide. And you can see here where trends stop and where trends end and start changing based on these lines of how everything crosses. Now this one actually is kind of neat because you can see here it shows you almost...
It's kind of neat. I see why you went long now. We've crossed the zero line. Buy. And he did. I think that he'd be a better entrepreneur if he bought like here, right? And if he had a buy limit here that didn't get filled, oh well. But look at this trade, and then here's another place to put orders, stack it up, and then just cash out in here and be done with it. He's already up in the trade. He's back on the couch with his wife's hand on his chest. He's a heartfelt entrepreneur.
It's like a MACD trend indicator. You can see when the trend starts heading back down, when the trend starts heading back.
So now I can reference the MACD. MACD with a large fry.
Up by the lower indicator here, you can see the averages. And then you can also see when you've got blue lines and red lines, and of course you can change the colors on those. When is a good time to get in, get back out.
I thought I was going to say when's a good time to change the colors on that.
And that one was a pretty short one, but you're going to get in, stay in, maybe get back out somewhere.
Maybe.
We're in here, especially down to here.
This is where things get dicey. Well, it's not a perfect system. Yes, there's maybe kind of iffies. You can only imagine how this could get really brutal.
You've got some nice trend pockets. Now, if you combine that with these, though, you can see.
Thanks, Gary.
See, it showed on here. Let's combine them a little bit. If we see that's an uptrend.
Oh, is it like a combo plate, right? At Denny's? Denny's has that combo plate.
Right? But the uptrend really began all the way back here. If you combine the two indicators, you would have got in somewhere down here. Not in these, because that's still going down on this indicator. So you combine them, you can see now we've broken the trend, we're going back up. You're getting into the trend there, and you're getting out up here. So you can kind of combine the two trends, get in here, get out here, and you can switch. Reverse the trend all the way down, and then get back in there and get back up. So if you combine the two indicators, you're kind of getting a lot better understanding of when it's time to get in and out of these trends. If you combine that also with some of your um,
Fibonacci?
highs and
Oh,
lows and marking the trend with
working
your
the
trend
trend, baby.
lines, you can see when good time is to get in and out too.
Let's
So
work that
when these
trend.
trend lines cross, now that's a super time to get in and get out. Or get out of a trade. So right now we've got a trend starting again, and notice a lot of times with the same pairs, the trend lines stay the same angle. So if we were to take this trend line and just apply it
He's
up
right.
here, we're real close to the same trend line. So, and that's probably going to be the case here. So,
But the question's always going to be, does that mean I sell here? Or am I waiting for this trend line to break? And this is where I load the wagon and anticipate we're going to just break that trend line. See, that's the big. Is a pivot, which way is it going to pivot? Is this the beginning of a new downtrend channel? Gary?
when we get a trend line here, we can actually, let's move it this way. We can actually start moving it. And see, you've got an uptrend. We're going to definitely want to get out here. So, trend lines to me are a great friend.
But he went long there, so you can see the problems.
And I've got a ton of trend line
It's very,
indicators
very discretionary trading.
that I'll share with you um, in other videos and let you pick those up. But I like doing them because, to me,
There's no stop on that trade. He has to take profits. He had no stop.
visually,
His account's the stop, I'm assuming.
you can do them mechanically and be pretty good. But visually, I like leaving the trend lines on there. I don't like them to change. Once I put a trend line on here, most trend line indicators will keep moving it down and adjusting it. I don't like to do that. I like to see where it crosses and watch where it's ready to go back, reuse those trend lines. So I like to do them manually. Now, this particular trend indicator down here, I wanted to show you a little bit more. You can make, this is the, you can make this any time frame you want. You can see right now we're on a daily chart,
Holy
and we're
shit.
on a daily indicator because
34. Oh,
it
it's
says current value.
534.
But if I wanted to, I could set that to 1440, which is daily, and hold it there so that I could look at that
Yeah,
trend.
see, Bill Williams was trying to use the Elliott wave. He's an Elliott-tician, so he used 5 and 34 because the 34 is the Fibonacci, but he's saying, okay, 34 is the oscillator identifies a wave 4. The end of wave 4 is when the oscillator goes below the zero line. According to Bill Williams, that's his the whole premise of this awesome oscillator thing.
Line if I go back to my 4 hour, and that gives me a really nice indicator. Where keep in mind that if you're doing 4 hours, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got several of these before they're actually going to stay there because you got to wait till after the daily each day before that trend line's not going to repaint. But this gives you a good indication of what's happening in the higher time frames, and sometimes to me that's a little bit better gauge. If I want to trade in a 4 hour time frame, I might change this to, or I'm sorry, in an hour time frame, I might change this to a 4 hour time frame. Go back down here to my 1 hour, and I might change this one also because most of my indicators you can change the time frames on. That's one of the nice things about these. Now, these are not my indicators. I didn't write them. I just found them, tweaked them, put them together so that you can have indicators that actually work. So if we were to change this one to a 4 hour also, you can see what it does. It just really smooths things out so that you know when it's time to get out. That might have been a time when you said, hey, I'm going to get out here, and whoa, I'm going to get back in here because it's starting to come back down. We did have a little green there too.
So he's up on that 3K, and he must have got these into these trades earlier before this. I suspect from this chart, it almost looks like he placed a buy stop, or as soon as we broke out here, at some point, either here or way back on the chart, where he had like a buy stop here. He's like, okay, buy stop confirmation here. Maybe he pulled the trigger at the market on these. You don't really know. And maybe here he did have his first entry. But look how they came back. If you bought here, we came back there. After all this, this looks like a 5-minute chart. A 1-hour chart. So it's a 1-hour chart. Dollar CAD 1-hour chart. Look at all this insanity. This hours and hours. This is like, and then we retest the breakout. So he literally chased this thing into new highs long. Maybe he did make some stellar trades back here where he got in when everything got quiet, and you got this low volatility situation, and there was all these fake attempts to get out of the box, to run out of the prison, and finally escapes. And as we trip up into these, the sellers come in, that you can't pull that back much. It's just like, uh-oh. This must have been filling some void. Some monster void back there. He's nice, not getting confirmation to see, but it goes over the zero line here right away. That would have been. See, it depends time frame here. You just get right here before it goes over the zero line.
In that case, if you followed these pretty closely, you'd be able to see when it's time to get in and get out of your trade. So I hope this helps you be a little more profitable. Now, if you look,
sure does, buddy.
Look at my information below the video,
okay,
you'll see where you can get these indicators if you want to start using them. I've got a website where you can actually pick these indicators up. I'm not sure how else to share with you except, these are totally editable indicators. You can change all the lengths on them and the different channel sizes and so forth on this one. So maybe you want to trade, a 45, moving average on it.
Well, maybe I do. I just might do that, Gary. Don't tell me what to do, Gary.
You can see how that just changed it quite a bit. So, or maybe you want to go in here to the AweSome indicator, or the AweSome indicators down here, and you want to change the moving average method to exponential, and you can see how that might move things around. You kind of have to use your own trading style.
Huh? I want to be like you, Gary. I want to be an entrepreneur. You mean these aren't the best settings? My style matters. Style matters, son.
That would be beautiful right there, right? Nice trade. Get in.
That's what I was just saying. That's my style, man. I get it right here, bitch. Be waiting for no fucking stupid fake breakouts.
Get back out.
I look like a fucking idiot. Gee, Gary.
You can tweak these how you want. Put them on.
Oh, can I?
Whatever time frame you want.
Hey, how is it on the 30-second chart?
You can leave them on current time frame, or you can put them in the time frame up above. You can combine them if you want to see how this one is here, and then maybe we want to go in
the old combo plate
and pick that indicator up and run it down here and add one with 240.
Gary knows his shit.
You can see a little bit of the difference of how that looks. Let's see if we've got it set up the way we want. Change that to
I'm liking it.
Moving average of 2 and 2.
How about just 1 and 2? Let's see that, Gary. Then it starts to look like the price. Oh, fuck. Oh, snap.
Like we did at the one top, because you want to trade kind of the same way. And then
I'm liking this. I see way more trades. Look at that. Look at all that zigzag. Look at all that on, off, on, off, on. It's just like a real relationship. She loves me not.
You can see how they look together. You know that one is the 4-hour. That one is the current. You got a lot of choppiness, but at least you have a good idea when you're still in the green.
Oof.
Major turns starting to happen
Oh,
here.
oh wait, did you say major turns? Because my dad used to have a 790 footer, and we always try to make small turns.
So these are awesome indicators to combine together to become more profitable. Use them however you want for your own trading style. You can even run these down here to a 1 minute time frame. And if,
Dude, I was waiting for you to say that. I've been waiting to hear that this whole. My only question is if you're gonna, can I drive that car on a 20-lane road? Can I drive that car on a 1-lane road?
if you go to a 1 minute time frame, you might want to move your awesome indicator to a 15-minute time frame, and
Oh,
maybe
I like that. Now that's got more a binary look to it, where you just say to yourself, "Dude, you're in sell mode." Anytime. Now that's a way to show somebody who's never traded, and you kind of know if you built a system, and you know what the script is. You say, "Press this button when you're in this color. Press that button," and it's like a manual EA. You have some slave at $2 an hour doing that.
leave it at current, so you know.
I know that you know that I know that you know I'm in the restaurant with my awesome oscillator set to the Illuminati setting.
Really, when they get in and out of these trends, that still will give you a nice trend right there, trade right there. Now you're getting back out. So
Man, it makes it sound so easy.
you can use these to scalp with. You can use them for long term. You can use them for short term. Great indicator. I hope you
I'm
enjoy them
in.
and watch for my next videos.
I cannot wait. So, you just heard it. This just in. No views. First here. First in, first out. Gary Davis, entrepreneur. With his lovely wife, Shannon. I don't know his wife's name. I guess you have to go to gumroad.com, Forex Trading Tools. I don't know if these are free indicators. Here's his newest template. And there you go. Today's Forex news brought to you by How to Blow Up Your Account.